All right, welcome back, guys. Skypirate Actual here with the homies. Got Forrest, buddy Doc, and then Chris, the emergency expert. Chris, you want to walk us through what video we're going through today?
Yes, and normally I don't talk about the gun stuff, but I came across this video randomly. Another gun tuber, but has a military background. But the way he did this video and the context he brings to his situation and where he's at, based off of his environment, how he operates on his own, outside of a team setting, all these different things he talks about, and I thought it was really well done. And we don't see many videos that take kind of a practical approach from the aspect of like, I'm just a dude patrolling my own woods and I'm looking out for stuff. This is why I picked this particular setup. And I think he does a really good job of kind of breaking it down. And he's fairly new to, or at least has recently became popular with YouTube. But he was literally I wasn't on my radar at all until about a month and a half ago. And I think that's when I caught this video.
Oh, well, there's a fair. No, it's not a really short video. About the same amount as yesterday's video. So let's go ahead and start it off.
You don't need a $5,000 rifle to take a 50-meter shot. But you're going to find shit's going to change up here in the mountains, boys. Teams, sometimes I think we've been lied to. Worst case, best cases, we just have been lying to ourselves. I want to talk to you about, at least my opinion, thoughts and experiences on what may or may not make a good battle rifle. Why is this one my preferred choice? It's obviously not a 5.56. It obviously costs some extra dollars for Dose tag stamps. But there's a reason, right? So 5.56 is a great round. It's battle tested, and it does really good damage on the human body, at least psychologically, if not physically. But it is a little bit smaller than a 300, and obviously with the 300, I can slow it down and make it subsonic, and that's important to me because then I don't have to worry about shooting indoors without hearing protection. I don't have to worry about blowing families' eardrums off. Not least of which is, if you're out here, it can be a little bit harder depending on your distance to determine direction. But on that note, like how far can you actually see out in the woods? I dropped a community post as well as on Instagram to guess a distance for a target that we're going to shoot at today. And I heard everything from 25 meters to 400. I think somebody even said 600 meters. And now we got this orange can set up. It's a 2-gallon bucket. Let's go ahead and move away and get into position. All right. So, how far away are we going to go?
So you guys want to pause it real quick?
And are we going to stay in the same position?
What do you guys think about that premise? How I opened that up?
Give me a second. I'm trying to expand.
I agree. I think it's the shooter that's more important than the fancy tool you have with you. I think a skilled tool in the hand of someone who understands basic fundamentals, whether it's a carpenter with a hammer or someone with a rifle, I think it's all the same. It matters how often you practice with the tool than how sophisticated the tool is. And I think when you get to the higher levels of craftsmanship, maybe the quality of the tools matters, but at the basic level where the average, I think, person will stay, I think just understanding how to use your own hammer, I think, is more appropriate than anything else.
Yeah, well, I think for 95% of the people out there, like just having a basic rifle setup that's well done for them and that they know is going to be way better than them having a bunch of safe tools. Like I can't stand when I see a $5,000 rifle that looks like it was just taken out of the box, and the guy's like, "Yeah, I take it to the range and sits inside, an overhang, shoots his 10 rounds because that's all he can afford that day, and calls it a day." Like that shit pisses me off like to no end.
Got anything? I mean, Sean, you put that pretty succinctly, so I have nothing
Yep.
to add for that. Let's go ahead and hop back in. Dude, this is just so not user friendly.
Are you talking about Zoom?
Zoom, dude, I am not a fucking fan.
I know. I honestly, the yard stream seems like it's more intuitive than this.
Oh, it's way more intuitive. I'm actually gonna go ahead and stop sharing real quick, and then I'm gonna reshare because right now it's like fucking crashing.
Yeah.
Turn that phone. All right, starting back up.
What we were talking about last night?
For a couple shots. Paying attention to pace count? Are you paying attention to time that it's taking for me to get across? How far are we now? Just based off of nothing but time.
Looks like it's about 50-ish meters away.
What's interesting is people believe.
Why are you pepper spraying your pits?
Drop the BS and give me a win. You know, that long distance shooting is the way to go. But as we're going to prove as we work up here to this position, that's not always the case. Me and Riggs, we just hiked our asses up all the way to the top of the ridge again and back down, having good times. Oh, fucking beautiful. Yep.
Could have counted this page.
All right. So here we are.
I gotta go for a second. I'll be right back.
In position.
Did sound drop out for you guys?
What's that?
Can you actually hear what anything going on?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very big difference.
Did you see where I was at? You can't. 50 meters away. That's all it takes to be deadly when you're out here in the real freaking world, right? Something that you need more than anything else, one could argue, and break some things down as far as what you may need and what you may not need. Like, first off, like if you go watch any of the.
All right. So he said 50 meters. That looked farther than 50 meters to me.
He's also shooting, if we're looking at the camera right here, this is a wide angle lens. So like
yeah,
you
a
can
little
see
bit
how
higher
the
there.
trees are warped.
Yeah.
So that's good. I mean, that's probably why a lot of people were guessing further off too.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, that's how cameras work. You know, to get
Yeah.
the
Not
nice
only
wide
that, but
angle.
he's also he's walking up an incline too. So
Yep.
as far as distance, it might seem like it's farther, but it's not. As far as like not being able to like exactly pinpoint direction of the shot, it's going to be hard to do that anyways if you're sitting in the middle of a forest like that because the sound's just bouncing off of everything. Even indicators for like muzzle flash or debris popping off at the front of the rifle is going to be fucking really hard, damn near impossible to determine. So while this is great, I think even if you didn't have a suppressor shooting subs, I think you'd still have the same exact result personally.
Yeah, and the big difference with the subs is, like the premise that a lot of people don't realize is that sentry stuff, right? That's when you're taking out single lone entities or like a dog, for example, that's barking, and that's going to alert the rest of your team. But the thing that he said about blowing out his eardrums, so not needing to be wearing ear protection.
Yeah.
The only problem with that that particular argument is when they start shooting back at you.
Yeah.
Like at 50 yards, someone shooting back at you with whatever 5.56, 300 blackout, whatever.
It doesn't even matter at that point. That's just entirely too close.
But inside at home, like I can 100% see why this would be useful versus trying to run a 5.56 even with a can inside a house is miserable time.
Yeah, like that's like people have this misconception that just because it has a suppressor on it that it's gonna be like super fucking quiet. I was like, no, he's still shooting a big round. That shit is like I've heard some 300 blackouts that were literally like hearing a mouse shit. But
yeah,
that gun he's shooting right now, that shit is not quiet.
Yeah,
it is very loud still. But it's just not high enough decibel to like blow your eardrums out for not having it.
Yeah, equivalent it to like a 22. Like just baseline, 300 blackout subsonic with a suppressor, about a 22. Which
if you're 100 yards and in, that's a great setup. Like I have a very similar setup. So like for what he's talking about, I think he's based out in North Carolina as well, closer to the Blue Ridge side. But like the way he's talking about the terrain and why that setup works for him, I'm like, I actually get it. Like it makes a lot of sense. And the fact that like, he's up there in blue jean cowboy shirt and dark denim, I couldn't pick him out. I'm looking for him and I already know where he is because I've seen the video, but I'm like trying to distinctly find anything that would give away whether it's his shape or and I from 50 yards away on that camera I couldn't see shit. Now in real life, different story because it's real HD. So
well, even up in that area, I mean, just like we saw a couple weeks ago, that train will open up real quick, and so there's a lot of different scenarios that you need to be able to touch 4, 5, even 600. So there are pros and cons. If that's just where you're operating in that strict small bubble, sure. But I definitely want to have like a main battle rifle that's going to reach out to 4, 5, or 6.
And that's the beauty about like the AR platform is you just need a different upper at that point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's why like I tell people like you don't buy 5, 6, 7 rifles. Like get the uppers to fit the job and just change them out for whatever job you need to do. I mean, that's the beauty of the platform.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm trying to swap out uppers when I'm getting shot at personally.
No, I know. You know what I mean, though. Like you wouldn't do that anyways, but if you're out somewhere, like you either have one or the other. It's not like I'm reaching in the back of my truck and I'm like, does this situation call for
what am I going to do today?
my 9mm or my 300 blackout? Like, I'm grabbing whatever rifle's there and I'm shooting it.
Yeah.
Back.
All right. Let's do it.
The big names, like they're all using big dollar products, right? We're talking, $2,000-$3,000 rifles and carbines, and then $2,000 freaking optics, and probably $2,000 worth of Hooyah gear that's attached to it. So that's the first thing I want to submit to you, especially like if you don't have a current battle rifle, or if you just want to rethink and retool, maybe refit what you currently have. And I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts, team. Like, what is your battle rifle and why? So this particular one, base price, I want to say is $800 retail. I bought it for like $350 used. And then obviously we changed out the upper, and that brought me to
At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what big wireless
God
does.
damn it, Ryan
They
Reynolds.
charge you a lot.
I
If
should
you
have
use Brave as a browser, it automatically knocks out ads on
Oh,
YouTube.
About
Fun fact.
$800 at the end of the day. Different bulk carrier group, different upper. $800, right? I think the EOTech runs $400 or $500, and obviously the can is about $1,000.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
totally not needed for situations out here, but it's a couple $100. So obviously you got to pay for backup iron sights, and I have a larger charging handle as well, and the stock is different, but I may have one, two, maybe $2,300 invested in this total, and compare that to $2,300 base rifle before you start putting anything else on it. So there's no in the southeast, unless you're in a valley that has been cleared or it's for crops and it's a farm, you're never going to see 600 meters. Like out here in these woods, man, you're lucky to see, you're guaranteed you're not going to see jack shit past 75 meters out here. Like it's just not going to happen. Between the microterrain and the vegetation, you would have to draw a line between your eyeballs and this object would have to be so fine-tuned, it's ridiculous. Even shooting 50 meters to get a clear shot, I have to move left and right just for 50 meters. It's only going to compound the further and further and further that you get away. So here we are, man, 50 meters away. That's it. 50 meters. If you're not moving at 50 meters, you're not going to see anything. Let that sink in, right? So again, taking it back to this platform, like I don't care about shooting 600-700 meters, right? And especially not for a point target. All I care about, based off of where I live at, is being able to shoot 3 pushing 400 meters, right? That gets me in those areas where it is a little bit more of a farmland, which there are some up and down my valley. But all I ultimately care about is less than 150 meters, less than 100 meters. And in all reality, less than 75 meters. As we've proven here is the case for me, right? I don't live in a desert. I don't live in the Mountain West where I have nothing but crags and long distance, bighorn sheep shots. You don't need a $5,000 rifle to take a 50-meter shot accurately. And even more than all of this, what I would submit to you is get off of the flat range, man. Things are going to change and you're going to learn more once you can get into some terrain. You can still work in flat. You can learn a lot because you got vegetation, right? Don't just go clear an area and call that your range. Set up some targets, find an area where you have a good backdrop, set up some targets, know your left and your right lateral limits, and experiment. Shooting uphill, shooting downhill, shooting through the brush. See if you can make those badass flat range shots. Do some movement. Have some fun. But you're going to find shit's going to change up here in the mountains, boys. It ain't the same as on them flatlands. So I think we're going to pack it up. Again, team, I'm looking forward to hearing what you think down in the comments below. As we all continue to master our craft and develop our tactical virtue. Were you right on how far away that we ended up being?
Nope.
He was right on.
Or were you wrong? And if you were wrong, do you understand why that you were wrong? So let me hear it, team. I appreciate you guys. Until then, stay out there. You keep grinding, and you stay stoked. Team, if you want to master your craft, develop your tactical virtue.
All right.
Develop your tactical virtue.
Yeah. No, good video. I think definitely a solid message behind the video. Obviously getting out there, shooting in different environments and stuff like that. So I can't poo-poo that whatsoever. He kind of hits home multiple times on a you don't need a $5,000 rifle to do. Yeah, I think that's a fairly obvious statement. You mean a standard, you know, Pogue GI, you know, can hit out to 300, 400, 500 with iron sights. So it's like, yeah, without pretty obvious that, yeah, you should not need, you know, something super high end in order to reach out to, you know.
And for everybody who doesn't know,
Throwing
military
distance.
issue rifles are not super high quality rifles,
even
especially the ones being issued out to guys who only shoot once a year, if that.
Yeah.
Sean, got anything?
No, not really. I pretty much agree. Yeah, go get a $400 Palmetto State rifle. Go to the flat range.
PSA, dude. Are you
safely
being
learn how to-
sponsored, Sean?
I hope so.
Dude,
send me money. Send me
Who was it?
stuff.
Someone said PSA has done more for their Second Amendment than the NRA.
No, that has been.
1,000%
I've heard that. I've heard that
agree. Yeah.
Go get a rifle, go to a flat range, learn how to use it safely, and then once you learn how to use it safely, then go try something different. Go see how the rest of the world looks, and then go practice being in the rest of the world and realizing, hey, you can learn great fundamentals there, and that's fantastic. Keep refining those over time. But then once you actually go out in the real world, you're going to realize, holy crap, I don't remember what I learned. And then you're trying to have to piece everything together and then try to remember it in the moment. And
So you don't agree with the statement of buy once, cry once?
well, I do and I don't. It depends on the item. I do and I don't. It depends.
I personally believe get your shitty one first.
Yes.
Find what you like, right? Start doing the simple upgrades like your trigger, optic. Find what you like at the lower end. Once you realize, oh, I like low power variable optics, or I like red dots, then you can make the jump to the expensive whatever you think you might like. But like, if you're buying a $3,000 AR right off the bat, I'm telling you right now, the likelihood of you selling it, because I see it all the time, is fairly high.
I mean, I think that comes down to budgeting. I can see both ends of the spectrum here. So if you want to buy something, like if you want to buy something that legitimately you can trust, I'm not going to poo-poo someone that's going to spend the money, especially if you have it. Like if you're on a budget, understandable. Absolutely go for something lower end or save, because that's another thing too in budgeting, to get what you actually want. So I won't poo-poo on people that want to go ahead and spend the extra money to get what they actually want.
The nice part though about doing the PSA, and this is like the same mentality I have with training with like shitty ammo, like wolf ammo and stuff like that, right? It's like if your rifle does suck, man, that's gonna suck. But like it's like having a shitty mag in the mix. Like you need to do those drills. Because even that $3,000, $5,000 rifle, like when dirt starts getting worked in there and you haven't cleaned it in a while, guess what? You're gonna have some failures. It happens to the best of us, regardless of how well you keep your weapon put together and cleaned. And so, for me, like I bought my cheap one first, and then I was like, all right, let's invest in like something that I know is going to be a workhorse. And the one you saw, Sky, at the retreat, like that thing I made in 2006. It's an 18-year-old rifle. That rifle could fucking vote this voting season. You know what I'm saying? Like it's voting. We all know who he's voting for too, right?
Yeah. And you can't say Trump, man. Motherfucker, he pushed a couple of anti-2A laws, or I don't know.
And I can say
the other side sucks too.
But
so.
that's what I was gonna say. I can say it better than Special K. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
oh,
that much.
Special K.
Good,
That's a new one,
good
dude.
God.
I know
I just
who
made
ain't
that
getting,
up.
I know who ain't getting voted for. Yeah. But no, good video overall.
I think he had a
Solid
good
message.
message.
Solid
And I
message.
like that he's asking questions to the audience and being like, listen, this is my AO. What's yours look like? Start thinking
Yeah,
about
I
these
really
things
like
and the
that.
capabilities you need.
I like
That to me should be the for all this stuff, whether it's what I do, whether what you guys do, like we should be asking people questions more than giving them answers. And there's so many people just shilling shit. I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I'm a proponent for the buy once, cry once.
Yeah.
Probably because I have probably a $4,500 rifle. Not because it's valued at $4,500. It's because I started cheap and kept spending money to upgrade it and
yeah.
upgrade it and upgrade it. So
There's that too, but that's part of the fun too, right? It's
it
like
is,
getting
that
that
is
Civic.
true. But if I would have spent an extra
Nothing wrong
$600
with
or
Civic.
$700, I could have had what I have now for $2,000, if that.
Yeah.
Including accessories. So you really got to find that middle ground, and I think really what he's getting at is you don't have to spend $5,000
You
to
don't
have a
have
good
to.
rifle.
Yeah.
If I think
No,
all of us
yeah,
would agree, you
absolutely.
can probably get something very, very decent, including accessories for what, under $2,000,
Yeah.
easy.
BCM,
Yep.
solid rifles. I've been running the same arrow for years.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I'm a big fan of the BCM, especially the cold forged, because it lasts so long. Like I've put on my personal rifle, I've put 25,000 rounds to that barrel, and that thing still is hammering good.
you might want to
groupings.
find the life cycle of that barrel though.
So
25,000 that is probably way outside.
I know, and that's the reason why I keep.
free.
That's why I keep shooting it though. I want to see how many
25,000
rounds we're gonna get through before
God,
it's
dude.
done.
Life
might wanna
cycle
call
is
them.
a
They might
thing
give you a
for
new one for
barrels,
free.
brother.
Guys, I'll tell you what.
Goddamn.
Go and look at this article that BCM put out called the Dirty 30. It was Pat Rogers' rifle that he took the class. He never cleaned it. He only oiled it. And if someone's rifle broke in class, this is what he gave up to him. But he never cleaned it, only put oil down it. This thing ran for 30,000 rounds. The only thing that broke on it was 2 bolt faces and 2 retaining pins and one firing pin.
I imagine his extractors screaming to get clean, dude.
Oh, for sure. Dude, the thing was filthy. Like the carbon buildup on the outside was like, it was like when you see those pictures of guys who stand their pants up in the corner after like a long field.
just starch.
Yeah, it was like, it had like, if you turned it on its side, you took like micro pictures. It looked like little villages of like carbon around a lake, that opens up and flings brass.
Dude,
but
with working with like foreign weapons over the last few years, I've seen weapons life cycle out at a rapid fucking pace, dude. That shit is not a game. It can definitely get you hurt.
I know.
I mean,
I'm monitoring it. Trust me.
Yeah, this is coming from. I mean, I don't even want to call myself a maintainer. I was an armorer too, so yeah, I got to see all the fun stuff from the bad end of the life cycle. So, but anywho, that doesn't matter. Get that barrel swapped out, Chris.
Maybe I'll swap it out. I'll actually, now that you say that, I'll probably go on primary arms and see if I can find
He's running a deal.
Is it? Yeah, great. Yeah,
Palmetto State running the deal right now.
I'll throw my PSA barrel on my BCM upper. That will show the pores. But yeah, I'm one of you guys. Look.
Yeah, right. Sponsor me.
But yeah, no, I'll probably look at a BCM and get a 14.5 to put on there now that you guys got me feeling all bad. You're gonna die, man.
Dude,
you're gonna fucking die.
I'm about to fuck around and go back to my 11.5-inch, dude. The 16-inch is dope. I love the 16-inch, but I'm about to go back to my 11.5.
I got my 13 up here. This is the one I didn't bring down. You're making fun of my old school build.
Dude, you had the fucking like invasion of Iraq build, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. It was a circa 2008, bro. I had all the gear.
All right. Rifle, I'm down to do another video. That one was actually pretty fucking quick because there was like nothing that we could really say that was bad about the video. You guys down to do another one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's jump on. Another one ready. Let's go for it.
All right, I'm gonna stop recording and Let's see.